Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Workbench here at Scale Models Midwest. David here as always. Hoping that you're having a great weekend. I'm a little late with my model cars and coffee entry. Again, put on by Paul over at Left Coast Model Builds. But I wanted to get it done so I could get it shown to you. Get started on my next kit. Let's dig right in. So for starters, I went on ahead and built, as you saw in last week's video, the AMT Mach 1 Mustang Funny Car. And it's been out here, probably a re-release for the past 6-7 months. It, I thought, looked to be a pretty sharp kit. And as I described in the previous video, the Funny Car body was anything but. The body itself is, to me, and I looked at one of my old AMT Mustang kits, the exact Mustang body that was in some of my other kits. It is not to say it's a bad body. It's, in fact, a very good body. It's well proportioned, has the lines in for the door handles, trunk lid. The hood, however, leaves a little bit to be desired. If you see here, even after I sanded, painted, and whatnot, it's still ill-fitting, and so I decided to display it with the hood closed, unless I take it all apart and display it with the hood off the car, so you can see the Logi chassis a little bit better. The second thing you notice, I pulled the body off of the chassis. I do not have it as a flip top, and here's why. When I was putting everything together, it would not sit on the body. It would kind of like, I'd put it here, and it would be stuck like this. And every time I looked at it, I thought maybe it was the interior tint. Well, it's only part of the problem. I did sand down with a Dremel tool the interior tint so it fit better around the chassis, because it was catching on that. But every time I put it back together, the pins, as they still lined up, still pushed the chassis down and forward. Now, I didn't want to risk breaking the chassis because this is a very thin chassis. It is not one like the Blue Hawaiian Dodge Charger Funny Car, I believe, from a few years back, where it was a one-piece chassis. This one, you have to put it together. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have a little bit of a jig, like a flat plate and some magnets that you can line the chassis up on. Maybe that could have contributed to why this one doesn't want to sit down proper. I ended up cutting the pins off the back, and I just can pull the body off like that. I kind of think it's not a bad deal because you can still see well-designed Logi chassis, which underpinned a lot of the funny cars of the era. The interior, you think, is pretty basic. Seat, steering wheel, shifter, and whatnot, but for as tight the confine that they are, it turned out to be pretty well detailed, as you can see there. The engine is very well detailed for a 429 Hemi, if you will, the big block Ford. But if you notice, I don't have the bug catcher on the top. Well, there's the next thing. Again, fit. When the kit was on, like this, or even as I was trying to put it together, the front of the bug catcher does not fit well with the glass. Now, if you want to sand the glass a little bit, you can to get it to fit. I may very well do that, but it's already in place, so I figure, if anything, if I display it, I'll do that. I'll take the bug catcher, just set it there, and put a little sign up that says "Don't touch." But that's what we got here. So again, I just built this, the way I wanted to. Louis over at Autistic Maulers did his in the Siemens Ford blue and white, which looks really sharp. Definitely go check out his channel. Go check out his build. I wanted to go with the red. I had some Tamiya red that I decanted, airbrushed, and then I decided I wasn't going to clear it. One, I already put the glass in, and those of you who remember me putting together my Richard Petty Charger, after I cleared it with the glass in place, caused major problems with fogging. So I decided to leave that as it is. Anyhow, the other thing you notice, and this is the same thing that Louis talked about, the front end, I think the way the instructions are set up have you putting the stuff together in the very front, and I think that's still the case. However, when you do that, it definitely sticks out way further than you would expect it to. As you see right there, almost by a good I don't know, scale 6 to 8 inches from center. So what I went ahead and did was I took the Dremel tool and I sanded right up underneath the marker lights to the front pan and left the bottom part of the front end panned off. But still, I have the grill, I have the headlights, and I think that looks pretty sharp. You can use the inserts to make it nice and flush. And then, of course, on the back end, again, this is, to me, it's a stock Mustang body. If you ever had a bad Mustang body in one of your old kits, you could use this one to build a Mach 1. Decal sheet was really good. I just put a few of them on there. I'm going to use the rest of the decals for something in the future. But, you know, that's how it is. Ultimately, it took me about 2 weeks to build, off and on, maybe about 20 hours total. And it, again, turned out into a really nice kit. I do like the way it sits. Once you stop fiddling with it, there you go. I like the way it sits. Definitely prototypical of that era. And I put my wheelie bars a little high because I figure if this thing did launch off the line, I want this thing to sky the front wheels as high and far as it can. But still, nice little fun escapism type build. And definitely you can let your imagination wander on this. You can use the Logi chassis under really anything, I think, from the era. And build yourself a nice little kit. Sit good up on the shelf. And if you definitely feel like super detailing it, you certainly can. I mean, this thing, you could pre-wire a magneto, put that in place. You can use a different belt instead of the plastic stuff there. You could detail lines to go from the fuel cells to the injectors. You can actually add injectors. And ultimately, seat belts, what have you. Good kit. I do like it. I think Louis said, in spite of what he went through, it also built up into a nice little fun kit. And this is going to look nice on the shelf with the rest of the kits. Go out and buy it. Build it and display it on your shelves. And show us pictures of what yours looks like when they're done. Beyond that, I'm going to show you what I got. So I'm waiting on some parts and some other items for 2 other kits that I'm starting to work on. But in the meantime, I saw a group build. There's a new car magazine out right now. I think it's called Car Modeler. Not really sure, but there's a Facebook group that you can become a member of. I don't have the magazine subscription yet, but a lot of people are talking really good about this. So it's another magazine out there dedicated to the hobby enthusiasts. And, you know, get a chance, pick it up. They got a group build going on September 1st, October 1st, building a 60s era car. And I have one sitting on my shelf that was just right for this. It's just going to be a nice little quick build. And it's this one right here, Revell's 67 Corvette. Now, of course, I did build another 67 Corvette recently. That was the Street Fighter Vet. But this one's going to be way more stock than that one is. But I'm not going to paint it blue. I have a couple of ideas in mind. I definitely will go with a white interior. But mine's going to be definitely a non-stock, non-GM color. I've got a couple airbrushes or airbrush colors that I've got that I think I'll use. But yeah, that's going to be my next kit right there. So I got that. And then, of course, the Mach 1 Mustang ready for the shelf. And with that, I'm going to head upstairs, get some stuff done, get ready for dinner, and get this out to you. Keep building the cool kits, and make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel and tell people about it. Catch you in the next video.